Imagine you're on a Boeing 747, your laptop is open, equipped with Microsoft Windows, Kenny G is playing over the sound system, and that Starbucks in your hand is just about gone. All of these things have something in common. All of them started in Seattle. Soon after your plane descends over Puget Sound and Mount Rainier, you land safely at your destination, Seattle, Washington. Based on research and personal experience, I will be your tour guide to help you discover several points of interest that will increase your awareness and appreciation for the area. As we head to our first destination of great places to visit, some that are free, I'll fill you in on a brief history, highlight some growth during the early days, and talk about some companies that started here. Arthur Denny, with only his family and a few friends, landed on the shores of Puget Sound in November of 1851. And they named it New York. Later they changed the name to Duwamps, and then finally they settled on Seattle after Indian Chief South. Seattle grew quickly. A road was forged from Fort Vancouver to Seattle through the Evergreens. Organizations that would later become University of Washington and the Seattle Post-Intelligencer were formed. The Klondike Gold Rush boosted Seattle's young economy and started several businesses, some of which are still going today. John McLean started the world's first gas station, James Casey started United Parcel Service, and Nordstrom's opened their first store. Other companies like REI, Eddie Bauer, and Boeing also flourished, and later Starbucks opened its first location at Pike Place Market, and that's where we find ourselves now. Pike Place Market is our first destination of great places to visit in Seattle. But watch out, fish are flying. Jeremy Ferguson, in his article in the Toronto Star, states that it's the only market on the continent where fishmongers hurl 16 kilogram or 35-pound fish through the air like ping pong balls, shouting, one salmon, hey ya, hey ya. Purchase fresh-caught fish, local produce, baked goods, or a menagerie of other items at several hundred vendors at Pike Place Market. No one wants to miss our next stop. It's the #1 tourist attraction in Seattle. As we head east, we find ourselves at the base of a 605-foot space-age looking structure built in 1962 for the World's Fair. What is it? It's the Space Needle. An open-air observation deck gives you a 360-degree view of the whole area, including the Cascade Mountain Range and the Olympics. Not too far away, we're going to go to our next stop, and that's underground Seattle. Barbara Smith in The Historic Traveler says that Seattle's founding fathers set out to build a city on a 1,500-acre mudflat. Later, part of Seattle was destroyed by fire in 1889, but the settlers quickly rebuilt, and not only rebuilt by building walls and the land up around that original area, but they also built a whole nother city on top. And for 20 years, business was carried on 2 levels until in 1907, the underground was condemned. Later, structural restoration allows us to now see, once again, Seattle's underground. Before our tour ends, I want to let you know about a few free things to do in Seattle. The Seattle Art and Asian Art Museums have traveling installations and exhibits, some of which have been Picasso, Michelangelo, the Japanese woodblock prints, and also Andrew Wyeth. The Museum of Flight offers some great interactive exhibits, gives you a great overview of the aerospace history, and lets you climb on different planes. All of these museums and several others are free on the first Thursday of the month. There are over 400 parks in Seattle, of which most are free. Visit the Olympic Sculpture Park. How about Volunteer Park with its conservatory and different play areas and beautiful gardens? You can go to the Ballard Locks and see sea life, or just walk along the Seattle waterfront and enjoy the view and the sunsets. All of those, of course, are free. Well, our tour has come to an end. But exploration doesn't have to. There's so much more to see. And with these points of interest that we've discovered on our tour today, hopefully you have an increased appreciation and awareness for the area. With our discovery of some of the history and great places to visit, some that are for free, your next visit will be more rewarding. As your Boeing 747 ascends and you watch the sunset, peach, yellow, and lavender paint the evening sky and reflect off of Puget Sound. Then slowly the sun slips behind the distant mountains, and you have one more reason to visit Seattle again soon.